Too old, too slow, too good. The Pies beat the Swans. Let's talk about it. So before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Swish. Swish, thank you so much. Swish, if you don't know, you can get one of your favorite AFL players, but more importantly, your favorite Collingwood players to send a video to a friend, a family member. Mother's Day is coming up. You get 10% off if you use the code SWOOPLUKE or the link down below. You can get Josh Daicos, Nick Daicos, Pendlebury, Jack Crisp, all your favorite players, Darcy Cameron, to say, give a little message of support to a loved one, a friend, or an enemy. Links down below. Swish, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Now, let's talk about those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful old bastards. Let's get into it. So last night at Adelaide Oval, the Pies took on Sydney Swans. Now, going into this game, I think I said we would win by about 8 points. I thought it was going to be close, and at times it was pretty close. We love playing in Adelaide. We know this. That makes that 10 wins in a row at Adelaide Oval. Our last 6 wins at Adelaide Oval had come within less than 6 points or something, so it was nice to get a big 30-point win where you can just sort of relax in that last quarter. But this game solidified Collingwood of 2025. Now, we've seen the best and we've seen the worst of Collingwood so far in these 5 games. Four games prior to this Sydney game. But what we needed to do was we needed to come out, take a big scalp, and you've got to think that the Swannies, they came and they smashed the Kangaroos last week. And I know you're saying it's just the Kangaroos, but the Roos have been playing okay. So it was nice to sort of go up against a team who, yes, played enough in the grand final last year, but a team with a little bit of, big sort of credibility. I know they had a couple of players out, but that doesn't discount from what a good team Sydney is. So it was nice to get tested by them and at a foreign ground and come out and beat them and absolutely beat them and beat them convincingly. Port Adelaide, we played a 4-quarter performance. I think this was pretty close to a 4-quarter performance, if not 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, because there were times where we let Sydney in where we shouldn't have. And that's just some things that we can tighten up. But overall, this was an absolutely fantastic game by the Pies. You can sit here and do a 20-minute video and going through every single player and what they did and how well they played. But obviously, there's a couple of players that I do want to highlight. Steele Sidebottom, who's turned back the clock. He's playing as a full-time mid. We saw last year he was a tagger, or he's on the wing sometimes. But now he's into the centre, and I think that's a trickle-on effect by having no Mitchell, no Jordan De Goey as well. Then you put in Ned Long, who had obviously a career-best game, 29 disposals, 6 tackles, 9 clearances. What I love about Ned Long's game is he lets Nick Daicos do whatever he wants now. So Ned Long is that body in the middle that's taking the brunt of it and then handing it off to the Ferrari and letting him go, right? We love a workhorse, and that's what we missed last year. With Tom Mitchell out, Ned Long couldn't be that guy last year. He's gone back, had a big preseason, and he said, do not make me the freaking sub anymore. I am here, I am best 22, let's absolutely go. In my preview, I said that there needed to be some big performers from some forwards at a little bit low in the forward line, right? Jamie Elliott has been okay, but has had a quiet year so far. Bobby Hill, Beau McCreary, these guys needed to step up in the absence of Lockie Schultz. And I know that 3 players, 1 player, but Lockie Schultz has been that guy for this year. And step up they did. Beau McCreary 2 goals, and his offensive attack was incredible. Bobby Hill 3 goals. Jamie Elliott 3 goals. Everyone that we needed to step up stepped up and then some. Brody Myercheck kicked 3 goals as well, I'm pretty sure. McStay, Membry. This forward line, this ragtag forward line of, not household names, if you will, right? They're not big sort of key forward, this and that, but we're putting together, and I know you guys hate when I say it, but it's sort of like a money ball, and I'm using that in the sense that it's not really supposed to be used like, but you know what I'm kind of saying. You're getting this, and then you put them together, and then they're kicking a winning score. And I think this team, this forward line, have been absolutely incredible this season. There's been times where they've faltered, but we're kicking winning scores, and it's another 100-point scoreline for us, and we are just going to go to the next level. And then if you add Lockie Schultz into this team again in 3 or so weeks, what's bloody stopping us. Something that I also said in our preview was Sydney Swans do well with their press, especially coming out of the defence. I think I read somewhere that the Kangaroos started with the ball 91 times and only had 12 scoring shots. So that Cox's cage that we talked about, they do that really well. Our handball game last night, we were able to weave through them. We showed that speed. You know, everyone jumped the gun in opening round, too old, too slow. And now, it's suddenly, they're too good. They're quick and they're fast and they're doing this and the counter-attack and how they're, it's like, yeah, we've seen this. I told you that the first game was an anomaly. I'm not saying that we're going to win, we're going to go unbeaten for the rest of the year, but that first game was an anomaly. That's not how we play. Yesterday's game against Sydney is how we play, is how I've seen them at training. So I'm really enjoying seeing that. Also, I want to shout out our backline. So the last 3 weeks, we've let in an average of 60 points. Up until halftime, it was 50 points, and I thought, okay, Sydney, good team, really good midfield. They're probably going to come up, score maybe 80, 90 points, and it's going to be a closer game. After halftime, they only put on 20 plus points. So I think that, 78 points. So they only put on 28 points in the second half. So I know it's not the 60-point average, but that is still a very, very good defensive effort. I thought Isaac Quaynor, after having a low season, did really well. Billy Frampton is just, Frampton reminds me of Ned Long, where had to bide his time, but then he comes in and he shows, no, this is my spot. And I know we're probably going to pick up another intercept defender in the mid-season draft. But Billy Frampton, this has probably been his 2 best games in a long time, maybe since the 2023 Grand Final where he pocketed Harris Andrews. But I love seeing that from Frampton when he has that goal of, this is all you have to do. Don't do anything special, just pocket these forwards. Frampton does a very good job. Darcy Moore had another great game. We're all functioning really, really well. And you'll hear the team say, it's a pressure. It's a team defense, and the guys up front have to do a good job for the guys down back. And we're just getting into that synchronization and that synergy. And it's coming off really, really, really nice. It'd be remiss of me not to talk about Nick Daicos. So he had 34 disposals while, with one of the best tags in the game, James Jordan. Now, Pendles as well was incredible, but Nick Daicos is just something else, right? He cops a hard tag, 4 of the 5 games this year, getting held at every single contest. I'm surprised that, Nick doesn't get 10, 12 free kicks a game, because the amount of times that he gets held in the contest, but still is able to break that tag and have a good, really good bloody game, score involvements, meters gained. Craig McRae said James Jordan better have his runners because Nick Daicos is about to run him off his feet, and that's what he did. Nick Daicos is starting to learn how to run these taggers off their feet, because Nick Daicos is the best runner, or one of the best runners in the game, and you see that, and Craig McRae's talked about that. So that's just amazing to see it in the flesh as well, and it just says a lot for our season going forward. One big stat that I do want to talk about is from the centre clearance, we scored 3 goals or thereabouts. And even though Sydney got a stacked midfield, and with Grundy and Heaney and Warner and stuff like that, they didn't score any goals from centre clearances, which is absolutely huge. Says a lot about our defensive work in the centre as well, and what the coaches are doing, and that's Matthew Boyd. Mentioning Heaney, incredible player. If Heaney wasn't playing yesterday, we win that game by 10 goals. He just kept them in the game. There were times where you go, what is going on here? In the second quarter, we kicked 5 goals, and then Sydney came on and put 3 or 4 goals on in a row. And you kind of think, how do we switch? How do we play so well and then switch off? So there are little things to adjust, and we can adjust them on the fly, no pun intended. But I think that it was just a really good team performance, and it gives you, I feel really giddy thinking about, I know it's 1 week at a time and we take on Brisbane next week, but I'm going to stay in this moment, and I do feel giddy, and people that I was talking to, after the game, and my friends and stuff like that, we needed this scalp. We beat an undermanned Footscray by only, 6 points, and then we beat Carlton, who were just shit house anyway, right? So coming up and beating Sydney, and not only beating them by 3, 4, 5 points, beating them by 5 goals, I think that says a lot about where we are. We're 4-1 currently. We probably finish this round in the top 4. And, it's just beautiful to see. And I think this season, anything can happen, and it's going to take a really good team to stop us, and we will get stopped. You know, I'm not in the mind, like I said, that we're going to win every single game now and, you know, we're going to go unbeaten for the rest of the season. We will get stopped, but I think you sort of need that where you can adjust. Say, okay, this isn't working, like we saw yesterday. There were some things that weren't working that need to be adjusted, but without Dan Houston, without Lockie Schultz, and without Jordan Ngoe, this team just keeps performing, and it's very role-based. You have a role, you have a role, you have a role. Lockie Sullivan knew exactly what he needed to do. Ed Allen, even though he came on for just over a quarter or so, knew exactly what he needed to do. Ned Long starting, knew exactly what he needed to do. Will Hoskin-Elliott coming in. The depth that we have, you know, people say, oh, they're going to fall off a cliff. They don't see our depth, and we've got depth and a half. And it's going to be a good year. I can feel it. I said this at the start of the year. It's going to be an absolutely good year. But more importantly, it's a good weekend. It's a Friday night win. We get the rest of the weekend to chill. And I just love what the Magpies are doing. And that says, you know, we got players doing exactly what they need to do. It might not get them on the stat sheet, but they're doing their role. They're playing their role well. I think the Triple M's are functioning really well. Membra kicks his 300th goal, the 200th player to achieve that. So everyone's doing their role, but doing their role well. And it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. We're 4-1, better than 1-3 where we were this time last year or thereabouts. Just need to keep a clean bill of health. But I'm so excited and so optimistic about what we can do. God damn, I love this team. I absolutely love this team. And I love us as fans. We sold out Adelaide Oval, 47,000 of us, you know, Sydney Swans and other teams as well, obviously. But the Magpie Army, we just travel well. There was Collingwood chance, there was the 19th man, we talk about it all the time, and this is crazy. Let me know your thoughts down below, but until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.